Eowyn Shieldmaiden leads an unstoppable human army, rallying more warriors with every spell you cast. This deck goes wide, swings hard, and never fights alone. So, let's dive in. Eowyn Shieldmaiden has first strike, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, if another human entered the battlefield under your control this turn, create two 2/2 red human knight creature tokens with trample and haste. Then, if you control 6 or more humans, draw a card. The strategy of this deck is to flood the board with humans and keep the pressure on with constant reinforcements. Buff your army with anthem effects and push through defenses with combat tricks to overwhelm opponents before they can even recover. Keep swinging, keep growing, and claim victory. Your army grows fast, and these cards make each human count. Anthem effects boost power, while synergy pieces reward you for having a wide board. With the right support, even the smallest of recruits become game-ending threats. Champion of the Parish is a perfect 1-mana drop creature that grows stronger with every human you play. In a deck that constantly generates human tokens, this 1-drop quickly becomes a massive threat, leading the charge as your army swarms the battlefield. If you can get this creature out on turn 1 and keep them on the battlefield, they can become a serious threat really quickly. Combat Celebrant. Now this one, right, extra combat means you get more triggers, buffs, and more damage during a single turn. With Exert, Combat Celebrant gives you not only the extra value of having another combat, but it does synergize with Eowyn's abilities. Crown of Gondor. You'll want to equip this to Eowyn whenever it's possible. Since this deck is all about creating a massive army, it's easy to turn Eowyn into a serious threat. With enough humans on the board, she can take out opponents with commander damage in just a few swings. Overseer of Vault 76. With Eowyn creating 2 humans at the beginning of combat, it means that those quest counters add up on Overseer of the Vault really quickly. This allows you to boost all of your creatures in return. Shared Animosity. Now this one turns your entire army into a threat by giving all your creatures +1/+0 for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type with them. With a board full of humans, this can turn your wide army into a serious damage-dealing force, making every attack much more dangerous. Theoden, King of Rohan. If you cast at least 1 human in your pre-combat main phase, Eowyn will create 2 more at the beginning of combat, triggering Theoden 3 times. This means you can get 3 of your best creatures double strike, making your attacks even more explosive and forcing your opponents into tough blocks. Erkenbrand, Lord of Westfold. With Eowyn creating 2 humans at the beginning of combat and casting just 1 more human in your pre-combat main phase, Erkenbrand can easily give your entire board +3/+0 until end of turn. Frontier Warmonger. This makes blocking a nightmare for your opponents. Whenever you attack, it gives all your creatures menace until end of turn, making it much harder for your opponents to stop your aggressive playstyle. With Eowyn constantly generating you more humans to work with, your board stays threatening, forcing opponents into bad trade-offs or letting the damage go through. Gold Knight Commander is similar to Erkenbrand by rewarding you with extra power to your creatures for getting more humans out on the board. Niali's Son's Vanguard gives all of your attacking tokens double strike, which makes Eowyn's human tokens even more dangerous. Adriana, Captain of the Guard, turns your attacks into a massive power boost with melee, giving each of your creatures +1/+1 for each creature you attack. Since Eowyn keeps generating more humans every single combat, you'll always have a wide board to take full advantage of this ability, making your swings even more devastating. Eomer, King of Rohan, is a versatile threat. He rewards you for having a bunch of creatures out on the board, has double strike, and also offers some potential target removal, dealing damage to an opponent, and helps with the Mnemonic mechanic, letting you potentially get more card draw advantage. It was tricky to figure out which section this card would be in because it offered a little bit of everything, so we put it in the Human Synergy section. Keeping your board safe is crucial in an aggressive go-wide style deck. This section includes ways to protect your creatures, keep the pressure on, and maintain momentum, ensuring your army stays strong and ready for battle. Coppercoat Vanguard. It makes your humans harder to remove by giving them Ward 1, and also provides a slight power boost. It's a simple but effective way to keep your board intact and help prevent important losses. Repel the Abominable. This one can be a lifesaver. because it helps protect your humans against damage-based removal or combat. Since most of your creatures are humans, they will be completely protected from non-human sources for the turn. Eowyn can easily become the biggest threat at the table. So we added in Bastion Protector to help keep your commanders safe while making them even more dangerous. Eowyn gains Indestructible and a power boost, helping her stick around to help generate those tokens and apply pressure. Frontline Medic. This card makes your attacking creatures indestructible, protecting your creatures from bad combat traits. The tokens created can be low in toughness, so this can help keep those little guys on the battlefield for longer. Goldbug, Humanity's ally, is another great protection piece that can encourage aggressive plays with your creatures. With the added benefit of encouraging you to cast more humans during your turn, human spells can't be countered. You draw a card when you attack with a human and reconvert Goldbug, Humanity's allies to give protection to your humans again during combat. It offers a best of both worlds with protection and card draw. Knight Exemplar. This card makes your knight creatures indestructible, providing a strong protection against removal and board wipes. Since Eowyn creates knight tokens and is a knight herself, they'll be a lot harder to deal with, letting you stay aggressive without fear of losing your own board. Make a Stand and Unbreakable Formation. These instants basically just give your creatures indestructible for the turn, making it a great response to board wipes. Paladin Dance is a strong, solid protection piece, letting you exile him to give your humans indestructible until end of turn. This makes him a great safety net to help your humans survive. Your temple is under attack. This one is very similar to Make a Stand and Unbreakable Formation with protection, but it also has the added benefit of giving you extra card draw if you need it. Aragorn, King of Gondor, makes your attacks even more dangerous by ensuring that creatures can't block when he attacks, especially if you're the monarch. This can clear the way for your creatures to deal damage and apply pressure without worrying about blockers. Baird adds a layer of defense to your deck by preventing opponents from attacking unless they pay a cost. This can easily incentivize your opponents to attack another opponent instead of you. Eowyn, Fearless Knight. This version of Eowyn offers great removal by exiling the target creature with the greatest power your opponent controls. Plus, your legendary creatures gain protection from that creature's colors for the turn, making her a valuable tool for both removal and protection. Lalsarnak Captain taps down opponent's creatures whenever another human enters the battlefield, which can stack up with Eowyn's triggers, potentially tapping several creatures and clearing the way for your own creatures to deal more damage. Plus, she generates a 1/1 human each upkeep, helping you build that bigger army. When Aldrich attacks with at least 3 other creatures, you get to choose how creatures block during combat. This lets you control your combat, ensuring your opponent's blockers are ineffective while your creatures get through. With Eowyn's ability, you create 2 human tokens, which can easily help proc Aldrich's abilities since they have haste. When Selfless Squire enters the battlefield, she prevents all damage dealt to you that turn. Plus, every time damage is prevented, she gets +1/+1 counters, growing stronger as the game progresses. It's a great defensive tool that can help protect you and your creatures. Prince Imrahil the Fair. He turns extra card draw into, well, more humans, creating a 1/1 token whenever you draw your second card each turn. Since Eowyn can reward you with card draw for controlling 6 humans, Imrahil ensures that you can get even more bodies on the battlefield to keep the momentum going. Faramir is a great card to try to play before Eowyn enters the battlefield so you can become the monarch. If you're the monarch, you'll create 2 1/1 human creature tokens at the beginning of your end step, further adding to your board presence and helping you keep the advantage. Horn of Gondor is fantastic for its secondary ability. By tapping it and paying 3 mana, you can create X 1/1 human creature tokens where X is the number of humans you control. This can quickly turn your board state into a full-on assault, flooding the battlefield with a ton of creatures to overwhelm your opponents. This deck can create so many tokens, and Horn of Gondor can just amplify that quickly. Faramir, Prince of Ithilien, is a fantastic source of card draw and token generation. At your end step, you choose an opponent. If they don't attack you, you draw a card. If they do attack you, well, you create 3 1/1 human creature tokens. This gives you a choice between card advantage or creature advantage, helping you stay 1 step ahead in the game. Sean's ability lets you create a non-legendary copy of a legendary creature you control whenever Sean attacks. The best target for this in your deck, well, is Eowyn Shieldmaiden, pretty much doubling her triggers, of course by next turn, to create even more human tokens and draw extra cards. This can quickly spiral into overwhelming board presence, making Sean a powerful tool for extending your advantage. Visions of Glory. This spell lets you create a 1/1 human token for each creature you control. That can massively expand your board state. The flashback ability also means that you can use it again later, ensuring another flood of creatures to overwhelm the opponents. Riders of the Mark. Now this one gets cheaper for each human you control, making it an easy cast in a go-wide deck. When it attacks, you'll want to take advantage of its ability, returning it to your hand at the end step and creating 4 1/1 human tokens. This can let you keep refilling your board while keeping a solid attacker in rotation each turn. Keeping a steady flow of cards is essential for sustaining your strategy. This deck offers multiple ways to draw cards, often triggered by the number of humans you control or create. Filtering ensures you find the right pieces at the right time, keeping your play smooth and efficient. Horn of the Mark rewards your aggressive strategy by letting you dig deeper into your deck. Since you're constantly attacking with multiple creatures, this easily helps you find more humans to keep the pressure on and maintain the momentum. Mentor of the Meek is a solid choice for card draw in this deck. Whenever a creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay 1 mana to draw a card. With Eowyn's ability, you'll consistently create 2/2/2 human tokens on each of your turn's combats, allowing you to draw 2 cards for just 2 mana, keeping your hand full and your play strong. Boromir, Gondor's Hope, provides solid card selection and value when he enters the battlefield or attacks. You get to look at the top 6 cards of your library, revealing a human or artifact to put into your hand. Distant Melody lets you draw cards based on the number of creatures of a specific type you control, which is perfect in a human tribal deck. If you have a strong board presence, this can help you refill your hand quickly. Mangara the Diplomat rewards you for your opponent's aggression. If they attack you with 2 or more creatures, well, you draw a card. Additionally, if they cast their second spell during your turn, you get another card. This can help you keep your hand full while keeping your opponents in check. Minas Tirith Garrison rewards you with relatively free card draw, as the goal of this deck is to generate a lot of humans. So, if you need more cards, you can tap some of your untapped humans to really start refilling your hand. Reconnaissance Mission is a fantastic card that synergizes well with this go-wide style deck. When a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Since we have plenty of humans, it won't be hard to have at least some of them deal combat damage to a player. This deck uses removal and disruption to keep threats in check and maintain control, letting you focus on your game plan while disrupting your opponents. Path to Exile is a simple, efficient removal spell. It exiles a target creature, giving its controller a basic land, but it's a low cost to remove a potential big threat. Turn Aside is a cheap instant that can counter target spell that targets a permanent you control. It's great for protecting your key creatures like Eowyn. Cathar Commando is a versatile human creature that can be sacrificed to destroy an artifact or enchantment. This helps you clear threats. Longbeaver's Pole counters a target creature or spell by giving your opponents a gift. It helps disrupt their plans while keeping you in control of the game. Protect the Negotiators counters any spell unless your opponent pays 1 mana for each creature you control. With a go-wide strategy, you'll likely make it tough for them to even afford the cost. Westfold Riders is a human creature that lets you sacrifice it to destroy a target artifact or enchantment on your turn. This provides great removal, and since it's a human, it also synergizes well with Eowyn's strategy to go wide with token generation and trigger additional value. Generous Gift is another iconic target removal spell in white that allows you to destroy any permanent, giving your opponent a 3/3 elephant token in return. Great trade-off. Harsh Mercy. Each player chooses a creature type and destroys the rest, allowing you to clear the board while keeping your own creatures intact for Eowyn's Synergies. This card is really powerful, especially if you aren't playing against other tribal decks. This deck runs a variety of mana rocks and ramp cards to make sure Eowyn can hit the battlefield as quickly as possible and start generating tokens. Having the right mana early lets you pump the tokens out and deploy threats consistently, keeping pressure on your opponents and ensuring you have enough resources for any situation. As for the lands, this deck uses a mix of sack lands, filter lands, and basic lands to ensure smooth mana fixing and color access. The sack lands help thin your deck out, while the filter lands give you flexibility with your mana base, ensuring you can cast the right spells when you need to. With blue, red, and white, you have all the necessary colors to play the cards in the deck easily. And that wraps up this deck check. Eowyn may have slain the Witch King, but now it's your turn to dominate the battlefield. And if you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the fairest community in all of Magic the Gathering. Until next time, like Eowyn herself, don't fear neither death nor pain.